Semiconductors are no longer just a technology product. They are a strategic resource. In the modern economy, chips are the foundation of productivity, defense capability, and industrial competitiveness. And that's why the world is now in a chip war. For decades, semiconductors were treated like a supply chain detail, important but invisible. Then global shocks exposed how fragile the system really was. A shortage of chips slowed car production, disrupted electronics, and revealed something deeper. Modern economies don't run without semiconductors. Now add artificial intelligence. AI isn't just another software wave, it's a compute wave, and compute depends on chips. High-performance chips are now the fuel of the AI economy. That makes semiconductor capacity one of the most valuable assets on the planet. But semiconductor manufacturing is not easy to scale. It requires advanced equipment, deep engineering talent, extreme precision, and massive capital investment. A leading-edge fabrication plant can cost tens of billions of dollars, and it takes years to build. This creates a structural scarcity. Structural scarcity exists for three reasons. First, the machines are concentrated. The most advanced semiconductor manufacturing depends on highly specialized equipment that only a small number of suppliers can provide. Second, the process knowledge is concentrated. Leading-edge manufacturing isn't just a factory, it's a decade of accumulated engineering and iteration. And third, the timelines are long. Even with unlimited capital, it takes years to build, qualify, and ramp a modern fabrication plant. This means semiconductor capacity can't be expanded quickly when demand surges. And when capacity can't be expanded quickly, control becomes leverage. That's why chips behave less like a normal product and more like strategic infrastructure. Only a small number of companies and countries can produce the most advanced chips. That scarcity turns chips into leverage. Countries that control advanced semiconductor supply chains gain economic influence. Countries that don't become dependent. This is where the chip war begins. There are two layers to the chip war. The first is design. Companies that design advanced chips shape performance leadership. The second is manufacturing. Companies that manufacture advanced nodes control supply at the highest end of capability. Both layers matter, but manufacturing is often the choke point. Because you can design a chip on paper, you can't manufacture it without the facilities, the tools, and the process knowledge. This is why semiconductor supply chains have become a centerpiece of industrial policy. Governments are subsidizing domestic manufacturing. They are offering incentives for new fabs. They are trying to reduce dependency on external suppliers. Not because it's cheap, because dependency in semiconductors is strategic vulnerability. The chip war is also driven by export controls and restrictions. When countries restrict access to advanced chips or manufacturing equipment, they are shaping competitive outcomes. They are not just protecting technology. They are shaping economic trajectories, because in the AI era, restricting compute means restricting capability. This has a cascading effect. Companies adjust supply chains, countries shift alliances, trade routes adapt. Capital flows follow the new industrial policy landscape. Now zoom out. The chip war isn't only about the most advanced processors, it's also about resilience. Modern economies need chips at every level. Automotive, healthcare equipment, telecommunications, defense systems, power grids, and industrial machinery. If supply is disrupted, the impact isn't limited to consumer electronics, it can affect critical infrastructure. That's why governments treat semiconductors like energy, like food, like defense resources. And it's why onshoring and friendshoring have accelerated. Countries want supply chains they can trust. Not necessarily supply chains that are cheapest, but supply chains that remain available during crises. This is also why we're seeing a global race for talent. Semiconductor manufacturing requires specialized engineers and technicians. Building plants is not enough. You need the workforce. You need the ecosystem. And ecosystems take time. Over the next decade, the winners in the chip war will likely be those who can scale across three dimensions: capacity, talent, and secure supply chains. Because chips are not just a tech input anymore. They are a strategic constraint. This is why semiconductors sit at the center of so many global shifts: AI growth, defense modernization, industrial competitiveness, energy infrastructure. Everything touches chips. And when a resource touches everything, it becomes power. The global chip war is not a temporary story. It is a long-term restructuring of economic leverage. And in the next decade, the countries and companies that control semiconductor supply chains will shape the pace and direction of global growth.